All right, what I'm going to do is go ahead and just get started. Let's bring this up. Let's make the transition. Okay, so and this is the last video explaining each of the three phase processes that one will go through. And it's, I can't really say it's the simplest, but it's the one that would require the least amount of work in comparison to the two previous ones. Okay, because this is the one that's going to require less thinking. There's really no, it's just take what you have and place it where it's supposed to go. Okay, and I'll explain what that means in just a second. I was thinking about it today, and I came up with a few tips about the two previous processes. Right. After running into people who have seen the last two videos, one was by Brother Carleone. He said he went out and got some colored pencils. He showed me a picture of a colored pencil pack of 24 that he got just yesterday, last night I think. It depends on where he is in the country. It could have been last night or yet last evening. But anyway, I thought to bring up that point because a lot of people's Bibles are made up of pages that are thin, right? Kind of similar to onion paper, but I don't think it's really onion paper. Yeah, it can't be onion paper. But anyway, it's like that, and it's thin. So it would probably behoove you to get colored pencils rather than pens, because pens will bleed through the pages. That's happened to me on a number of occasions in a number of Bibles. And when I use colored pencils, it's always been a better outcome. So take that into consideration. The book I have now is a different weight paper than your regular Bible. It's like almost like a little thicker than regular paper. Yeah, regular, I want to say Xerox paper, but I might be dating myself. Xerox paper. Okay, so yeah, and pen doesn't bleed through so much. I can see sometimes on the back of it, I can see where I wrote real hard in pink or something like that. But, and then I wanted to say, this process of mine that I've been showing you for these last two other videos, it could be modified. It's not set in stone as the way it has to be. You can modify it. You could use it with the Bible, or you could use it with the Quran, or you could use it with like a regular book and just modify the titles. Or you can, it's definitely designed for the Old and New Testament, even for the Apocrypha. It's designed for those books. And I can even do work with it in the Quran. There's a way to get, there's a Hebrew column you can get and place the Arabic there. Matter of fact, there's an online interlinear Arabic Quran, where it's English one line, then underneath that, word for word Arabic. You can go so far as to paste that in there. I've modified this a few times myself, for different projects. I was doing a project on Revelations, right? And I was asked to do this about the 144,000. So I did that chapter. I did two chapters. I think 7 and 13. I think those are the chapters. I can't remember. I'm trying to shoot off my memory, off the top of the head. But yeah, so what I did was I said, look, this study is not going to be based on the Greek version of Revelations. I did it with the Aramaic version of the Revelation. So what I did was I had 3 columns for the scripture. I had one for the English, one for the interlinear Aramaic, and then one just pure Syrian Aramaic of the Aramaic of the book of Revelations in Aramaic, right? And then I modified some other columns. So if you're like a whiz at Microsoft Word, or know how to manipulate tables, you can definitely make up a table of your own. This might be what inspires you to do something on your own, and I encourage you to do that. I'm not saying you have to use my system, but also too, this system is the grid is. This is what the grid is portrait, right? Now, when you turn it landscape, which I've done, I probably should have shown that one, but I've turned it landscape, and you can get a couple more columns in there. And I've done that, and I have to look for that file, but I just wanted to focus on one thing and keep it simple. So anyway, there was something else I wanted to say about that too. I had some notes I had thought up earlier today to share with you guys, but yeah, I think that's it. It might come to me as I keep talking. So moving right along. All right, the presenting phase, which I sometimes call the presentation phase. Basically, what this is a PowerPoint file, right? And it's an interactive PowerPoint file. Originally, I designed this for my children because, I felt the grid was a little bit too involved for them, and I figured, here's our Sabbath format. And I think that's reminding me of the other point I wanted to make. This will help parents who don't know what to do with their children on the Shabbat. They're like, I don't know what to do. We just sit there looking at each other, and I try to entertain them, and it only lasts for about an hour, but I can't fill up a whole Shabbat with information. Now, this is what this can help you do. Matter of fact, I'm looking at creating some Shabbat materials for children using a similar system to this, because I look around at the Hebrew congregations and things, and they just don't have nothing for kids to do. And it's like the Christians are very organized. They got Sunday school booklets. They got projects to make. You in the back making crosses and angel wings with popsicle sticks, all kind of stuff, right? Coloring. We ain't got nothing. We don't have anything. None of the artists or teachers are standing up. I may be speaking out the side of my neck, right? They might be, but I just don't know anything about it. So anyway, this presenting phase is more of a digest of everything we just covered in the past two videos. So you could use it to hold the child's attention. You can make it interactive. Back to that. Interact. Now, these chapters here, these little images of the chapters and things, they're clickable. So you can go straight to the chapter by clicking these things, And then when you get to the chapter, some of the things could be interactive or not, right? With PowerPoint, you can even include video inside the presentation, and also too, I want to turn you on to a resource called Kahoots. Kahoot it's called spelled Kahoot. It's an online Quizlet where you can create trivia for your children to play. My kids love to do it because they get to use their cell phones or the laptop to interact with Kahoots on the. I put it on the television. I cast it to the television so they all can see it bigger size, and then they interact with it by answering the questions on their phone and stuff like that, by downloading the app. It's really involved. Maybe one day I'll do a video about that kind of stuff and how to do a Shabbat, well, at least give you ideas. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but just give you ideas, because we do it our way. You might not like our way or whatever, but it's a few hours worth of I'm not going to say entertainment, but it's a few hours of interacting with the children so they can have that family time on the Shabbat to fulfill the necessary commandment. All right. So anyway, presenting phase. I'm going to have a hard time trying not to say presentation phase. But if I do, you know what I'm talking about. Uh-oh, what happened, man? I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. It's not working as smooth as it was yesterday. What is that? Oh, it's not doing it like it was yesterday. I wonder what happened. Oh, I think I did something different yesterday. That's what I did. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me see. I need to go back to. Let me escape that. I hope I don't have to stop this video just so I can. Is this a full page? No. Alright, so I don't think it's going to cooperate like it did the other. Yeah, it's not. So I'll just have to slide to the next video like this. Alright. Before it was just like I might try page down this next time I have to do it. Yeah. Before it was just sliding down with the touch of a button. Now I got to do all that. Anyway, materials needed. Always got to start with the materials that are going to be needed for this phase. Completed grid. Okay, so the grid that you did yesterday, well, I know you didn't do it yesterday, but the grid we talked about yesterday, when it's completed, then you're going to need the PowerPoint presentation template. There's a template I created for this phase. All right, so you're going to need that one, and you're going to take the information or extract the information from the grid and place it in the template where it's appropriate. All right, and you'll see what I'm talking about. If you are familiar with yesterday's video, it's up now on my profile, and it's also, I just uploaded it to YouTube about an hour ago. So you can go check it out there or check it out here or whatever. My channel on YouTube is, I don't know the URL for it. Bad 1del, I should know that. But I know it's WWDD. That's the name of my channel. I don't know if you can find it that way with a URL or nothing like that. But it's WWDD, What Would Dad Do? You could probably search for it, WWDD and 1del, the number 1, DELL. But that, with that, you might run into some Dell computer videos, and there's a weightlifter named 1del something, I can't remember. But yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll find it and then I'll come back and modify and edit the video text information and place my my channel there. I got some videos up there, I got some online books up there, some online biblical books up there, some videos of me and my children. I'm a single dad, so I take opportunity when I'm teaching them something, try to get it on video so you can see a positive image of a black father with his children, and see black children learning, and see black children that are intelligent, right? And now these videos are going to start to go up there because I want the YouTube audience to get wind of it also. Next page. Let me see. Page down works. Page down works. Awesome. Just like yesterday. All right, so step 1, transfer info. So you take this grid right here on the left, right? You got all this information, and you're only going to transfer some information. All right? Here's an example right here. Okay, so this is the title page where it says menu, okay? And then down below it is the chapter slide. So chapter 1, whatever chapter you're on is going to go on the slide that looks like this down here at the bottom with the brother holding his hands like that. And what you're going to do is just extract some of the information from the slide. And then over here you can see 2 other slides that have been included in the PowerPoint presentation. It's you have a Torah application page, then you have a vocabulary page. Now the Torah application page is a page where you have taken all this orange information and consolidated it over on the Torah application page by category, right? So if in this chapter you see 3 different categories of laws being talked about or introduced or taught, like let's say one was marriage, and then one was selling things, and then another one was what to do on the Shabbat. Then what you do is you take it over there, and then you'll categorize them in sections by the type of law they are. And trust me, this is going to come in handy later. Because you know what? Sometimes, because when you do it with, okay, so if let me mention this. Let me go back a little bit. Let me mention this. Now, what you want to do is if you're dealing with one book, you want to keep all the chapters in one file. I have a file for the book of Ruth. I have a file for the book of Samuel. I have a file for the book of Deuteronomy, right? You don't want a new file every chapter. You want to keep all the chapters together in one file. Same thing with the PowerPoint presentation. You want to keep all the chapters together in one file. So that way, you have easy access to the stuff. And then you could do word searches within that file to look up things. Okay, now here's the thing. With me, I like to categorize the laws, right? There are laws about parenting. There are laws about being a farmer. There's laws about sex. You understand? But they're all scattered over the book. And I believe that one of our jobs is to organize these laws into one category. Okay, all the laws about sex may span about 5 different books. I'm saying that they're not 5 different books long, but they are. And within, I'm not going to say, I am not saying there are within 5 different books. I am using that as an example. I'm making a point. Let's say they are in 5 different books. Then you got to go combing through these 5 different books. Wait a minute, let me find it. Hold up a second, let me find the other one. Hold up a second, let me find the other one. I ain't got that kind of time. And then when they're scattered over the book like that, it's hard for it to sink in and hard for you to learn it. All right. So what you should do is take them all out of the book, put them back together somewhere else. And this is the place where I do that. And I'm telling you, man, you'll get so much more out of the Bible that way. Because, here's one of the problems. Some people don't read the Bible all the way through, cover to cover, right? And that's, whatever. Where you are in your development is where you are. Gotcha. Where you are in your enthusiasm is where you are. But they will swear up and down they got truth because they found in one place where it says on the Shabbat, you are not to burn or kindle fire. Don't say don't burn nothing. They just say you can't kindle fire. And I'm like, what? I mean, in other places within the Bible, it says don't burn this, and it speaks. It's not like the Bible don't know what the word burn means. It uses the word burn, but in this instance, it says don't kindle any fire. And there are dozens of verses about the Shabbat, and none of the other ones ever mention don't kindle fire, right? So people think. So from that one verse, people have taken that and ran with it, who have not read the rest of the Bible. And you can tell they haven't because they're so dogmatic about that. And what they do is say, they teach this nonsense that you can't burn anything on the Shabbat. You can't use electricity on the Shabbat. You can't heat up food on Shabbat. You can't, you better not cook. Better not cook on Shabbat, right? But then what sense does that make? Look, okay, for those of us who have read the Bible from cover to cover, we know, first of all, that the priest has to use fire on Shabbat. So now it's not making sense. The Bible's contradicting itself. So now we need to find a way to negotiate the scriptures. Because can't have that. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit with what the rest of the book says. To take that one scripture out of context like that. But anyway, we know that the priest use fire. We know that there are 2 sacrifices every day, morning and evening. Every day. On the Shabbat, there's an extra one. There's an extra sacrifice on the Shabbat. So what we supposed to put water on them, sacrifice them? No, them things are getting burnt up, man. That's how that goes. And then when the Shabbat falls on a holy day like Passover, what we supposed to have? Raw lamb? Because we can't use fire? See, them kind of things don't make sense, and they make fools of us. Because we look like we don't know what we're talking about. I keep telling people, look, to kindle fire on the Shabbat means to stir up disputes. There should be no disputes on the Shabbat. No gossiping, no situations where brothers going against brothers, like angry, they're angry and stirring up strife. So yeah, but it takes a while to explain that conclusion to people who don't know, and so it's just like I might as well just save that time to do something else. Anyway, back to this. I'm sorry, y'all. Get back on point here. So We'll look at one each. I think we'll look at each of these slides one by one. Yeah, we will. We will. So there's a Torah application and there's a vocabulary. So all the words, vocabulary words that you extracted, you will notice that a lot of times they'll have things in common. Either there'll be names, and if there are names, you put them in the name section. Or you create the section your own. Like right here, you can see clearly this says names right here. I don't know if it's big on my screen. I don't know if you can see it on yours. But here are all the names I found in Ruth chapter 1. Chapter 1, these are them right there. And family titles like father, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, son. All of them are right here in this little section there. And I can't tell you what the rest are. But you'll notice that they have either certain themes or something like and words for different foods were found in Ruth 1. And then there could be a miscellaneous section where words don't fit in any category. You isolate them. That will help you with your Hebrew vocabulary and also help you with understanding of the scripture. All right? Let's go ahead. All right, here we go. This is slide 1, or the chapter. I'm sorry, not slide 1, but the chapter slide. Step 2, transfer topics and subtopics here. And it'd be cool if you could format them into bullets. Where you have a set of bullets and then the subtopics will be indented bullets. All right. So as you can see here, the topic up here, the arrows point exactly to where and what I did. And I'll just only use some of this as an example. For example, I can't even. Okay. From arrival in Moab to departure to Bethlehem. That's what this topic here is about, and that's what these two verses are covering, that topic, because they explain about their sojourn from Bethlehem to Moab. And this is where you put the topic right here. And if you can see next to it, it outlines what verses it's found. Verse 1 and 2, right? Okay. And then the next one, development of Elimelech's family after his death. So this is the topic here. These 3 verses talk about how, the family development after he died and what they had to do in his stead, right? And there are no subtopics here, so there will be no subtopics there. But here you will find a subtopic. This third topic is Naomi decides to return to Bethlehem. And when she decides to return to Bethlehem, there are some things, the information that they give can be further divided into subtopics. I can't even read. Can't even read that, man. So, just for visual, so you can understand. But, before that, let me explain this. The title of the book goes up here. Then underneath that, to Moab to escape famine, return without family, is the title of the chapter itself. It's the title that you gave. The description of the title that you gave, trying to fit it into one sentence that you gave, and it goes right up here on this slide as a title of the slide. And so when you do this with children or you do this with people when you're teaching or whatever, you could use this as a memory reference point. Okay, y'all remember when they arrived in Moab, right? And then they departed. When they had to depart from Bethlehem. Well, give me some stuff. What y'all remember about that? Can y'all describe? So it just it helps to jog children's memory. I'm not saying one of the things you're gonna have to do, children or no children, is read that book together. That's what me and my kids do. I'm going to go explain that. That's what me and my kids do. Or my kids and I. Or my kids and me. Whatever, man. I don't care. Here's what we do. We go 5 chapters. I don't know if that's going hard in the paint or what, but we go 5 chapters. And the way we read it, the way we read the Bible is I am the narrator of the Bible. And what I do is I list all the characters in this chapter, all the people in the chapter. And I ask them, well, who do you want to be? You want to be David, you want to be Jonathan, you want to be Saul, you want to be Samuel. And each child will pick the person they want to be so that when we get to their part in the Bible, you reading that part, brother. So it helps keep the children engaged and it's keep them in the story. Okay, where my part at? Where my part at? And it's like they get to have a part instead of just sitting back. Listen to you read. Listen to you read the whole thing and be like, man, I can't wait till break. Well, I can't wait till Oneg. So, and then you'll find them slipping, It's embarrassing to catch, they get embarrassed when they are caught slipping. It's like, man, you're holding the story up. You're holding the story up. It's just getting good. How come you ain't on your part yet, man? So yeah, that's a way to keep the kids engaged and to help them, Okay, let me say this. I didn't come here to explain my Shabbat method, but I feel like I got it now, kind of, sort of. I can't leave it hanging like that. Okay, here's what we do. There's 4 weeks in a month, right? So the first week I go over chapter 5. I go over the 5 chapters, right? And then the next week after that, we do a review of the 5 chapters. That's when the PowerPoint slide comes into play, right? And trust me, it's a lot of work on me, but that's what I'm here for. And then, do the cahoots. We do the trivia game after that. Then next week, we do the second set of 5 chapters, and then the week after that, we're doing a review. Again, just like this. So it gives them a break next week to have some kind of not so serious, not so scholarly activity to kind of relax. Because I think, sometimes when I found out my Sabbaths turned into work, I'm like, man, hold up. I gotta break this. I gotta back this up a little bit. I gotta have some fun included too. I don't want to take up the whole day. It makes it feel like they're back in school, So I had to calm that down a little bit, right? And or we have another system we do on Shabbat. The first 2 weeks are taken up on the first 5 chapters apiece. 5 chapters for week 1, 5 chapters for week 2, and then a review on week 3. And then on the 4th week, we will go visit another congregation, just so my kids won't think we're the only whatever we are in the world, So they get to fellowship with other people and be around other people. I get to relax. I get a Sabbath off, and I get to enjoy somebody else teaching, and then get to enjoy people I fellowship with, online on Facebook. People get a chance to. I get a chance to meet some of you guys that commune with me online, and that's kind of fun. It breaks up the monotony. It's like my little reward. So anyway, back to this. We've done enough talking about the Shabbat. Let's get back to this. So I hope I made that clear. I'm going to check point by point. I should have done this up here. That's what I got to do to the next line. So anyway, Ruth, the book, the title of the book, the title of the chapter 1 that you gave it, a description of the chapter. Then chapter 1, we got the topics are outlined along with the amount of verses or which verse this topic falls within. Then, if the topic has a subtopic, they're going underneath it in purple because we keep the colors consistent throughout, Keep the color consistent throughout so that once you see a color, it's just without even thinking, you already know what it's about, right? In time that comes. And then, moving on to the next slide. Okay, so step 3, you transfer orange column information, all right? Organize by subject and transfer information from the orange column to Torah applications. I already explained that. So Torah applications is a page that has a chapter that belongs to that chapter. So in this presentation, this is going to literally be the next page, Torah applications. So we can focus on what that chapter taught us. Okay? We can focus on what that chapter taught us. And so this is a closer up version of it. So from Ruth 1, we see residential laws are being discussed. Vow of the proselyte. Vow of the proselyte is found here because that's what Ruth does in chapter 1. She actually becomes I don't want to say Jew because it's not, well, I mean, I guess you can say Jew because it's the tribe of Judah, right? So she does that in verse 1. Marriage, we see some marital laws being spoken of in verse 1, chapter 1, right? And renaming of oneself, that law is found in the same chapter. And then widowhood, the custom, the law, the tradition. I don't want to keep saying law for everything because this includes not only customs and traditions, but laws, things learned, commandments, etc. So we find out the custom or tradition of widowhood here. I don't think that the Torah actually details all these items here, but we learn more about the Torah, more about the customs, more about the traditions, and more about the law by how we learn to read the rest of the Bible, because it's in there and it's just blasting out at you. Just because it's not in the Torah doesn't mean that it's not a part of the national law, because you will see some. Man, never mind. I'm not going to go into that, man. You got me on here all night. Okay, so that's Torah applications. Does that make sense? Chapter 1 goes with chapter 1's outlined information. The chapter previous to this one was just an outline of the chapter. That's all that was. Outline of the chapter at a site. Okay? And these are laws from that chapter by category. Okay? Next. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so this is the vocabulary slide. You're going to categorize the Hebrew in the chapter and transfer them to the vocabulary page. All right? I'm starting to see typos in my presentation. That's embarrassing. Okay, so anyway, names. Okay, as you can see here, from the arrows, they point to the columns. They're just isolating them, keeping them together. And then that makes it easy for it to learn. I swear, when it's all scattered all over the place, man, it doesn't do your brain any good. It's like a fragmented hard drive. You got to defrag that hard drive, man. Get all them files in the same location or allocated to the same portion of the disk. So names. These are all the names here. I'm using my hand like y'all can see. These are the names here. These are the family titles. And these are titles. I can't even see what those are. But those are titles, like elder is a title, like judge is a title, stuff like that. Places. So the names of the places that you have found, or that if you've underlined the names of places and wanted to know them in Hebrew, then you would have a place section for it. I want to know the names of places. Some of you may not be interested in that. That's fine. This is Bible study your way. I'm just providing an infrastructure should you desire to use it. That's all. I'm not telling you what you got to do, and you got to get out that mindset. You're reading this book for you, not so that whoever you fellowship with can indoctrinate you into their way of looking at this book. Look at it your way. Have the bravery to do that, man. Because if you do that, you might be able to teach me some stuff I didn't even see in the scripture. And that's awesome. I love to learn that way, And we help each other out that way, right? And then all the foods I think it was only 2 foods, and so I put them there. Oh, no, or the words that dealt with food. Like I see famine. I can tell that word is famine, so that deals with food, right? And then that's basically it, man. You're done. That's it. Also, too, let me say a word on this. I have consolidated my presentation down to just these 3 pages. Before it I gotta make another video showing you how I used to do it. That was when I ain't had no job, right? And I had all day to do this stuff, but now I got a job. I can't spend that much time on it anymore. So I had to reduce the amount of information I had within it. Tell you what, man, I had each one of the colors had their own page. We had a math page and timeline page, and I'm outlining the timeline. And I'm putting geographical maps of the locations inside the PowerPoint slide. I even made a game, and I made a PowerPoint game inside the PowerPoint on one of the slides today, relating to the story. I put artwork in there because ultimately what I did was I would take this to Kinko's. I don't care. FedEx office, whatever. Kinko's. All right. I took it down to Kinko's, and I would print out this slide. Right. No. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want no. What I did is I had the kids do it at the school. I had the kids print. Hey, I need this by Friday. Take this USB drive and print that out. Print me out print me out 7 copies. I would do that, and then they would come home with it, and then I would bind it up and stuff. So yeah, so that way, whatever. I'm not going to that, but so it was helpful, and they would have pages of black and white clip art in there. Clip art, so that related to the story, so that they can color. Because I had all different ages of kids at one point in time. I had kids that were like in their single digits at one time, in very early preteen. How about preteen? And then I had teenagers and stuff. So it was kind of my way of making a Saturday school pamphlet or something. Yeah. So that's it. Let me see. If you guys, I can't see the screen where you guys are, so I'm coming back to that screen. Just give me a second. No, that's not it. Where am I, man? Okay, that's it. Right there. All right, so looks like we're down to 2 people. So anybody got any questions for me while I'm still here? I want to make this one of the shortest videos I got. And keep in mind there's a delay. There's a delay before I see what you say. And if there are no questions, then I am done. Sweating over here in this light. Nah. That one person ain't had no question. All right, so, hope this encourages everybody to either get enthusiastic about Bible study, see what they can do with Bible study, see where they can go with Bible study, see what they can get out of Bible study. Because this book is very powerful if you know how to use it. And there's a lot of information that we can gather from our time and study with it. And I just think we haven't even scratched the surface of what we can do on our end, because we put all our trust in these mores. We put all our trust in these rabbis. We put all our trust in these scholars who we think know better than we do. who know better than we do. I see you turn. I see what you're saying. I'm trying to remember what I'm about to say. All right, buddy. Yeah, but you have the inner scholar within you if you just know how to extract the information and know what to extract, know what to look for, know how to use the book. So have faith in yourself. Trust yourself. Have confidence. And I'll probably get this video up on YouTube tonight. You guys have a good evening. Let me say this before I do go. I'm going to do this live. Matter of fact, I've been dealing so much with Ruth 1. Why not finish out the series with Ruth 1? This is the last series of the instruction on how to explain the 3-step process. But I want to do it live in front of you. I don't know if I'll do all 4 chapters of Ruth. Now, that's a short book. So it could make sense to do 4. I could do a series of 4 videos for each chapter and show you how it's done. Each of the phases, I guess. Yeah, because each of the phases are already done. I've already done the grid already. I've done that like earlier last year. And then the PowerPoint slide is already done. So I could do that. I'm gonna have to think of a way to do it. I can't promise it'll be soon. I mean, I can't promise that soon like tomorrow or anything like that. It might have to be Sunday. I'm off Sunday, so it might have to be then. But until then, you guys take care. Love you guys. I hope this was helpful. Y'all take care.